Hi practice buddies. So as I mentioned in my video on perpetual motion up here, I have a Star Destroyer in low Earth orbit. And here we are. Welcome to my Star Destroyer viewing gallery. In other videos, I'll show you around other rooms. We can go to the shield generator room, we can go to the anti-grav room, we can go to the engine room, we can go to the turbo laser room, we can go to the bridge. For the moment we're in our viewing gallery. And I like the viewing gallery because it's peaceful and I come up here to practice technique and, you know, to get away from it all, to
socially isolate.
It's a good distance, about 200 miles straight down to the nearest human, so I think that's a good distance to keep. Today we're going to discuss bow hold, and in particular spider bow technique. So for this you won't need your violin yet, you just need your bow. And you need to take your bow and then with your other hand, which is your left hand, your violin playing hand, you want to take that bow at around about the center of its mass and take your right hand away. So you can see I'm holding the bow with the left hand in its center of mass, and then I use my right hand. My right hand is a spider coming down from the ceiling. Wiggle the legs and then slowly thumb first under this part of the bow. I'll show you. So between the leather and the wood part of the bow, and then you want your middle finger to kind of meet the thumb so that the thumb and the middle finger are touching, depending on the size of your hand. If you've got a very small hand, maybe your middle finger doesn't have to touch your thumb. Usually though, it does. Then the third finger goes over this dot here, which is called mother of pearl. And it doesn't have to sit right over it, but that's a kind of reference point for it. And then the first or index finger sits just between the leather and the silver here, depending on the size of your hand. If you've got a tiny little child's hand, it might be a bit further down this way, and if you've got a huge giant's hand, it might be a bit further this way. And then finally your pinky or little finger goes onto the wood at the top of the bow. You've established your perfect spider bow, and it should be very relaxed, a little bit like a spider, ready to spring and jump. I've heard that spiders can jump up to 50 times their body length. So if they were scaled up to human size, essentially, in Earth gravity, you could jump up to the top of a building. It's a very powerful, springy jump. It's just gripped enough to hold it. Now let's take away the left hand, the violin hand, and just hold the bow dead level like that. Slowly rotate your elbow and your fingers and the bow until the bow is straight up like that. Here, I'll come closer and you can see how the hand works. You see, we rotate the hand up like that, and the elbow comes down, almost as if we're holding a lightsaber. Now we take it back down to level, and now down towards the floor, rotating on the inside. I'll show you that up close. Down, rotating to the floor. Look how the elbow comes up to compensate. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of an experiment, and this time we're not going to move the elbow or the wrist, we're just going to move the fingers, a bit like a seesaw. So you release pressure on the pinky and let gravity, if you've got a gravity generator, do the work. And then you put pressure on the pinky here and bring the bow right up again till it's at a 45-degree angle, and your elbow still and your wrist still haven't moved. And back down again, 45 degrees, and if you can, further, almost to 90 without moving your elbow or wrist. And back up, and the maximum I can manage is about 60 or 70 degrees without moving my wrist, and then I have to move my wrist and elbow. Some of you will be much more flexible and you'll be able to get 90 degrees both ways. Okay, so let's take that violin playing hand, the left hand, release your bow hand, and then let's come down from the ceiling, thumb in between the leather and wood, middle finger meets the thumb, third finger near the mother of pearl, index finger not on the wood and not on the leather and silver, but hugging, circling around the leather and silver, and then the pinky is actually the only finger that sits on the wood. Take the left hand away, and then up, ignite. Down, to level, and down. Further, and back again. Great. Now let's bring the violin up. Let's go to play position. Let's try this. We're going to do, with the spider bow, going to make contact with the string with D, halfway up the bow. And we're going to do an up bow on D. And then we're going to do a long 3 on D. Let's try that again, shall we? And then we're going to go to A string with a low 1 and a low 2. That tune always does something to my heart. Thanks for listening, guys. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it, and I'll see you on the next one. Keep practicing.